Still quite chaotic at this hour on the scene as far as what we've been hearing. We were out there earlier. The people that we were speaking with experiencing quite a bit of panic. They just didn't see this coming at all. Many of the residents that we spoke with there said the fact that this had happened in a Christian neighborhood in the heart of Beirut, very worrying and a sign that they believe that this might start happening more as a result of the violence in Syria. Now, we spoke to one gentleman, Edmund Boutros, with the Coptic League here in Lebanon. He talked about why exactly he was so concerned today. Here's more of what he had to say.
I'm afraid that years ago, like 3-4 years, we had 13 explosions in Lebanon, and I'm afraid that this explosion will not be the first of a dozen other explosions.
The Security Council here has convened an emergency meeting. They're meeting as we speak. We've heard from the Prime Minister here who says that they're sparing no resource in trying to find out who perpetrated this crime. Also saying that the Ministry of Health will spare no resource and that they will take care of hospitalizing anybody who was injured as a result of this blast today. Really a sense of shock. And when we spoke with people out there on the streets today in Ashrafiyah, a lot of them said that they thought that this could possibly be a return to the dark days, and what they were referring to was 2005, when you had a spate of political assassinations, car bombings, the first of which was Rafiq al-Hariri, the former Prime Minister of Lebanon. And many people concerned that this could be a harbinger of that to come, and many people very much worried about the fact that this happened in a Christian neighborhood. A lot of the folks that we spoke with said, look, there is a lot of sectarian tension here in Lebanon. There's a lot of tension between the Sunnis and the Shiites, and they believe that the fact that this happened in a Christian neighborhood was meant to possibly stoke even more sectarian tension throughout the country. Very, very worrying developments here today in Lebanon. Jonathan?
There's been no claim of responsibility, no explanation about why this bomb was set off, but what seems certain is the most prominent of the at least 7 victims among them was a top Lebanese security official, al-Hassan. His body was found at the scene and his personal effects were found there. Officials have already said that he was among the victims, and some of the experts we've been speaking to, some of the experts our viewers have been listening to, have said he was the intended target. Why would whoever carried this out have wanted to see him dead?
This is somebody who was very closely affiliated with the former Prime Minister Rafiq Hariri, the head of his security, somebody who, as part of the intelligence operation at the internal security forces here, provided evidence to the Hariri tribunal implicating what they say was the involvement of Hezbollah and Syria in the assassination of Rafiq Hariri, even though the Syrians and Hezbollah have always denied those claims. So this is somebody very intimately involved in a process here that is extremely contentious, in a process that has been beset with a number of assassinations and continued violence, and something that is very, very sensitive here in Lebanon. There's still a lot of details to be worked out about why exactly he would have been targeted or how he was targeted. But this has really shocked a number of the people that we're hearing from now, the fact that he was targeted. And again, this just really making people think here that this could be a return to those days when there were waves of political assassinations. People are starting to see this now as political in nature, and whereas before they were thinking that perhaps this was just a spillover of the violence in Syria, now seeing it as more political in nature. And when we were on the scene earlier, even in the crush of the ambulances that were taking the wounded away, the people that were in tears because they were so afraid for their neighborhood, shielding their children from the glass that was all over the neighborhood streets we were walking along, they today were fearing that this might turn out to be some type of political assassination. Almost everybody that we spoke with said, have you heard if a political figure was targeted? If somebody with any of the political parties was targeted, that was their worst fear. It seems that their worst fear has been borne out at this hour as to what that might mean in the weeks and days to come.